This is your 2024 ultimate guide to Lego storage at Ikea. Let's do it. So welcome to another video, and I have something that I need to do, and that is a recce. Now, I want to come to Ikea because I've got a plan for my new Lego room. Now, I'm big into vintage Lego. If you don't know, check the other videos on my channel. I love my vintage Lego, and I'm going to create a vintage Lego city. Now, not in the just put base plates down and sets down, in the way of a Brickcrafts, Brixie. I'm going to mock an awful lot using vintage parts. So that's going to be my city. However, along the walls, I am going to put some display solutions. Now, Ikea is the cheapest place to go. I live in Sweden, and so it's easy just to go to Ikea and get some stuff. But has things changed in the last few years, or are we still on the Billy bookshelves? Well, that's my mission today, so let's go and have a look. What a beautiful day. So here in Sweden, we're about halfway up the country now, so north of Stockholm. And it must be about 1 degree out here, but the sun's shining. And the Swedes know how to wrap up warm, and it certainly doesn't stop us from cracking on with the day. Now, Ikea. I have a love-hate relationship with Ikea. Obviously, you know, we're Swedes, so we get everything we possibly can from here because it's cheap and convenient, but ultimately all our houses look identical. So it is a little bit frustrating, but what can you do? It's cheap and it's good, and yeah, it's all okay. So up the escalator and up to the shop floor display area, through the chairs, through the sofas, through the tables, and then finally we end up turning the corner and getting to the Kallax area. Now, the Kallax area is quite interesting because it's about as basic as you can possibly get. So you've got the 4x5s, you have the 4x4s, the 2x4s, the 1x4s. It can be hung vertically, it can be hung on the wall, it can stand. So there's loads of variations of this. Now, the reason why this is so good for Lego is because of Wicked Brick. Now, Wicked Brick is a company, I'll put them on the screen now. They have long designed stands and quite amazing things to go into these Kallax units. So you've got minifigure stands, you've got glass front protectors, you've got all sorts of kind of backgrounds and all sorts of things that go into these units. They're designed for them. So for these plain Jane units that kind of, they're 1,000 krona, whatever that translates to dollars. I'll put it on the screen now. But what it does is allow you to pick and choose how you want to design your room, whether you want to put these single units on or whether you want to put the large units up against the wall. But you can personalize or individualize each of the small squares to suit the set that you want to put in there. So if you want to put a Star Wars set, you can do that. If you want to put other things, minifigures, they've got stands. So yeah, I really like the Kallax units. Really enjoy them. Anyway, on to other shelving options. Now these are quite interesting if you want something completely different from the Kallax, essentially. If you want black metal framing, glass framing, all that sort of stuff, then we're into something completely different. Now, these are a lot more pricey for what you get, and if you move to the left here, you actually end up with a double that price, and that's because of the real wood that's on the frame and not the glass. Now, these are all well and good, but ultimately, it's going to cost an awful lot to do a Lego room in these. If you want a cheaper option, then this is obviously a little bit better, but again, it's a bit basic, and I mean, it's fine, but it's not really that tall, so it doesn't fill up the whole room. It's not that wide, so you're going to need a lot of them. So we end up moving to the Billy bookshelves. So, cleared my throat a little bit. And yeah, so this is the Billy bookshelf. Ultimately, this is, and has been for a long time, the daddy of Lego display solutions. There are many, many variants. You have the white, you have the dark wood, you have the light wood, you have the black, and you have the extensions that go on top for the much taller rooms. And then you have the door variation. For us, if you want to display Lego, you want the glass fronted. So you've got these ones, which obviously aren't useful. You have these ones here, which are the glass front ones. They don't actually have the other glass front one, which is all glass. I'll put it up on the screen now. Now, they actually have those in stock coming in a week's time, but apparently they are going to be retired at the end of the year. So if you want these ones, then you're going to actually have to go and get them pretty soon. But otherwise, you're kind of stuck with the all glass, but with the kind of thicker frame and central frame in them. Now, people don't tell you about bully bookshelves that the central of the 5 shelving units is a permanent one that doesn't move. They're quite deep. I think they're 28 centimeters. I'm not sure what that is in inches. So they hold quite a lot of sets. Obviously, things like Millennium Falcons and Starships and stuff don't fit on there, but you know, they look fantastic. They look great lit up as well if you put the lights underneath. At the moment, they are still the king. Now you have these half-size ones as well, which are really good if you want to put them on top of tables, or if you have a kind of a, I don't know, like a parameter city and you want to hang these up on the wall above the city or something, then this is something that you can do. You know, they're good, they're cheap. They're all laminate wood, obviously none are proper wood. They're all just chipboard with laminate on, but you know, they do the trick and they're very presentable. Now, personally, I wouldn't choose this wood style. I would go for the white, but you know, they're okay. And if you want something that looks a little bit posher made of real wood, then Ikea do that as well. So these are essentially the same thing. These are the Billy bookshelves, but they are slightly deeper and they are proper wood. So that's why they are much, much more expensive. So the Bully bookshelves, as you saw the price earlier on, and then you've got these ones which are kind of 3 times the price. They are a little bit deeper, as you can see here with the books on the shelves, but you know, they're made of proper wood, and some people want that, but ultimately I want to spend more money on Lego, so I wouldn't do that. I'd stick with the Billies out of everything that's in here at the moment. So let's move on to the glass shelving. Now, this is something that really interests me. I went to eBricks. eBricks offered this kind of amazing glass cabinet with lights, which kind of took me back a little bit. I really, really liked it for their Lego supercars, and I'm looking for something in Ikea that might match up to that. Now, they don't have anything in the width and the height that I want, and everything that they have is, you know, it's quite expensive. That's 1,795 krona is roughly, I'm going to say, about $180, something like that. This one's quite lovely, but again, it has no lighting in it, and it's not very wide. And for 3,000 krona, oh goodness, I mean, this, we're starting to look, you know, look at this, 4,000 krona. I mean, this is great. If you've got high-end collectibles that you want to put on display in a corner somewhere, then some of these are great. But as you well know, us Lego collectors end up having an awful lot of Lego that we want to display, and unfortunately I just don't think any of these are large enough, wide enough, tall enough, and if they are and you want multiples, suddenly you're spending an absolute fortune. So yeah, I'm kind of, I don't want to say disappointed, because this is exactly what I expected. If you walk around Ikea over the last couple of years, you would have seen these in every single store, and they're all great. And if you've got some high-end collectibles that you want to put on display, I actually like this one quite a lot. This would look great in kind of a corner of a living room or something, if you've got these kind of really high-end vintage sets or something. But in terms of mass display solutions, I just don't think it's there. We have these kind of kitchen dresser units as well, but again, it's for the price and what it offers you, it's not terrific. This is kind of a Billy bookcase, this one there, but again, it's double the price as a Billy bookcase, so why would you spend the extra money? It just seems a bit odd. But yeah, in terms of storage solutions so far in there, I would say the Billies are the best at the moment. Okay, so let's get into the PAX units. Now, the PAX units, as you can see, stand at 201 centimeters or 236 centimeters. For my American cousins, I'll make sure I put all the centimeters into inches on the screen as I say them. Now, they come in 100 centimeters wide, 75 centimeters wide, or 50 centimeters wide. And then they have a different depths, so you can either have them at 35 centimeters deep or 58 centimeters deep. You can see them here, kind of, this is what it would look like if you wanted it as a wardrobe, but ultimately for us, we just want plain old shelves. Now, they don't have any doors, no sliding doors or normal doors, which are glass, see-through glass. So there's going to be no way to protect your sets from the dust. So this is where Billy maybe comes into it. However, I did some pricing, and so I thought it was quite interesting. If you get a Billy bookshelf, which is 202 centimeters tall by 28 centimeters deep, then for the Billy plus the 4 shelves, is $599 for the case and $400 for 4 shelves, which is $999. But if you want the Hergbo doors, then they're $450 each. So, and plus the hinges. So you're talking $2,000 for a concealed Billy bookshelf set. For a PAX, for a 201 centimeter by 35 centimeter deep, you've got $700 for the PAX, 5 shelves at $140 each. So that's $1,400 for the PAX. So it's up to you which way you want to do it, but for me, I'd probably still stick with the Billies, but the PAX is definitely something worth investigating. I think it's quite interesting. If you start looking around, you might see the configuration you want, whether you want height or whether you want, it to fit perfectly into an area so you can have the different widths. Yeah, really interesting and definitely worth a look. So if we walk out of the wardrobe section and into the office area, round here on the right hand side you have the liniment tables. Now these come in various shapes, sizes, colours, and anyone who knows anything about Lego YouTube will know that these have been used for Lego cities over the years. Now the liniment's actually the small one, so that's the 100 centimeter. You actually have different names for the others. So you've got 100, 120, 140 and 200 centimeters in length. All of them are 60 centimeters wide, and they come in these different colors. You've got the white, the dark black brown, and the I don't know what they call this. It's just a laminate pine thing over chipboards. Now this is the real wood one, much more expensive. They call it bamboo, I think. Really, really nice. I mean, it looks fantastic with the curved edge. And 140, it kind of sits there really nicely. Really good tabletop. Now, in terms of legs, you can use the standard ones, although I use these Kriller ones, which have the wheels. Really, really useful to move around the studio with kind of a couple of liniment tables. These legs just wheeling all over. They freewheel well, they lock. Really, really useful. Now, if you're looking for city, then you just use these standard legs. Nothing with wheels. And if you're going to build a city with more than 4 of these tables, build it with solid wood and other things. But if you've just got a small city for, 4 tables, 6 tables, these will last. Don't be fooled by the kind of Brixie or other people that say you've got to build your own at a huge cost. You don't need to. These will survive 3, 4, 5 years of Lego building and will do a wonderful job for you. So let's move away from the tables, and just next to it is the drawer solutions area. So the famous Kallax, which I'm sure you've all seen before, they're perfectly acceptable. I have a little bee in my bonnet about these Kallax drawers, actually. So they're great for storing away stuff that you don't want to see. However, I want to see most of my Lego parts. I want to know where everything is at all times so I can grab it, so I can build easier. So you've got these units, the big one, small one, I think they're 70 and 116 centimeters tall. They're great, but they're only 36 centimeters wide. So this square unit that Kallax has here with the wheels, which I think is actually really useful in studio building and all that sort of stuff. You can stick this underneath your Lego city and wheel it out and move it around. So this is probably the best of the bunch. The drawers are spacious and deep, which is great, so you can store a load of stuff in there. And yeah, I quite like this one. This is the one that I would get if I was going to get some Kallax drawers. They obviously come in the variant colors as well, so yeah, you can have the darker ones that hide them under the Lego city and no one will ever know they're there. But if you're going to spend this level of cash for drawers, I'd want people to see it, and I'd want to be able to see inside it as well. Now, I've seen this in a couple of Lego YouTubers' studios. That is pricey. $5,000 for essentially just storage in the background is quite a lot, if you ask me. However, if that's what you want to hide everything away, then that's great. Now the Helmer drawers are a variant on the Kallax drawers. They're made of metal, not wood, and they've got the metal frames. And then you've got another variant of the Kallax. These are made of wood, and these are the Mickey drawers, I think. Yeah. So again, all variants. Some are cheaper, some are more expensive. The Kallax drawers have a lot more drawers than the Mickey drawers, and the Helmer drawers there aren't. They're at 30 something centimeters wide. So if it was me, I'd probably go on Amazon and go and find some clear plastic drawers just to store my parts in so I can see what's in there. I mean, Kallax looks great for a studio, but for me, I'd probably give Ikea drawers a miss if I was going to do Lego storage. So you join me downstairs. I like the warehouse part of IKEA, I have to admit. Now, if you've got a lot of bulk Lego, then these clear plastic boxes are good. You know, you've got 500 of something, then these are great. And I've seen a lot of people use the builders kind of warehouse style big blue boxes with hundreds of parts in of the same variant of part. But I don't have that level of parts, so suddenly these boxes, none of these things really kind of work for me. Now, if you're going to talk about storing things like maybe Lego manuals, instruction books, that sort of thing, or any kind of you have 500 of 2x4 light bluish grey brick or something, then maybe this is useful. But ultimately, I just don't see how these would work. Now, I actually have seen recently both Brixie and someone else being sponsored by a 3D printer company, and that's kind of an interesting way of doing it. Then you can 3D print the exact size that you want. But for me, I think I'd probably just give IKEA boxes a miss and probably just go to a local dollar store or something. Anyway, shelving units. This is always a struggle for me. You've got these lac ones, which I've always, so floating shelves are always looking great, but they never have the strength. They always wiggle. So I found these today, and I'm sure everyone else has seen them, but they're pretty solid compared to everything else that was hanging on the shelves. These, I don't know what they're called, Granholts. So they're not completely floating. You put a shelf between them, but you don't have the vertical part of a shelf hook. All of these shelves are really expensive for some reason. I couldn't quite understand why they were so expensive. Maybe they're solid wood, but again, I'd stay well away from all of those, because just behind me here is the shelf that you definitely want to get. Now, these come in a variant of sizes and lengths to suit. Now, you can obviously cut them to the perfect size, because the holders that I just showed you a second ago come in different thicknesses, and you can put them as close or as far away as you want, so you can make sure that the shelves fit exactly to the point. And that's kind of it, isn't it? That's what you want. You want the customization, so you can get your shelves fitting precisely in your Lego room, so it can show off your sets. Now, this just shows you the different widths. So you've got this one here, and then you've got that one there. I think there's a variant of 10 or 12 centimeters, but I'll leave you to go to IKEA and look. But they're definitely worth it. These are the same. These are the holders for those shelves. They come in the thinner width and thicker width. Granholt, that's what they're called. And this is where I would go. I would make sure that you screw them into wood, not into drywall. But as long as you screw them into wood, then they'll hold absolutely perfectly for a very long time, and you'll get that floating shelf effect. I saw this earlier on as well, so I just thought I'd put this into the video. This lacquer, it's not terrible, and if it was in white, you could probably have a few of those and put some lighting solutions on and make them look quite good. But I'd stay away from the lac floating shelves. I think they'll probably have pardon the pun, a short shelf life. So as I was walking through towards the lighting, which we'll see in a second, I did see these. So these containers, 5 krona each for large. They're, I think, 15 centimeters by 8 centimeters, something like that. But they're a decent size, certainly good for containers. And these ones here, these square ones, for 3 krona. Now, if you were going to get a 3D printer to print your own ones, they're about 3,500 krona, and you would be able to buy 700 of the large ones, or 1,166 of the small ones by the time you even broke even. So buying a 3D printer for Lego boxes is mental. There aren't an awful lot of other boxes around here, so I thought we'd just end up walking straight towards the lighting. Now, basically in IKEA, you are stuck with 2 types of lighting. You've got the kitchen lighting or the wardrobe lighting. Both are perfectly adequate, and both certainly will light up your Lego sets wonderfully. They come with easy to install kits, and I think they are really, really good. The one problem they have is they are not wireless. Every single one is connected by a wire. Now, if you have any interest, like me, to move your shelving units up and down depending on what sets you've got, you then are in a struggle with the wires. So this is where IKEA lighting probably isn't the solution. Now, despite the fact they've got great discounts and everything's kind of looking really, really good, and they come on as you either press a button or open the doors, they've got sensors. So all of them are really, really good. However, if it was me, I would go to Amazon and I'd buy battery-powered or plug-in, USB-C plug-in magnetic light strips and put them underneath my shelving units so they're not connected by wires. And ultimately, that will mean that you end up with shelving units or shelves that you can move up and down depending on the size of your Lego. And that way, you get light and you get convenience of being able to move your shelves. Much, much better. And in my opinion, probably better than all of the IKEA lighting solutions. Right, back in the car now. That was interesting. I suppose if you want to spend a little amount as possible, so you've got more money to spend on Lego and other stuff, then IKEA is the place. The Kallax ones are really good if you integrate other companies' products into it. I think they look fantastic. I think the PAX is perfect for holding those ultra large sets. You've got a Falcon or a Starship or something that needs the space, needs the depth on that shelf. I think the PAX unit is great for that. The Billy bookshelf is still king, let's face it. You want something cheap and affordable to present your Lego sets on. I think especially if you get the all glass door, which is going out of stock over the next couple of months, so go and get that while you can. Otherwise you'll be left with the other glass door with the line between it. But yeah, I think I'm just going through my head all the different things we saw. The Alex drawers are interesting. Again, I'm not massively keen on them because you can't see what's inside of them unless you stick it to the front. I like the big plastic clear Perspex drawers. I've got a load at home and I quite like those, and I'm probably not going to change them for something that looks cooler, sleeker, nicer studio feel in those Alex drawers, but certainly not kind of useful on a day-to-day mocking building type of studio. Anyway, it was interesting. Nothing's changed. I think that's the key part to take away. IKEA designers have not been busy over 2024 or 23 since the last time I was here trying to find stuff for a Lego room. So they haven't been particularly busy. It's all the same. I would suggest if you want a high-end kind of really good glossy look, then I think maybe staying away from IKEA. For the all glass cabinets, I don't know if you saw my last video at eBricks, but I was there the other day. That's an independent Lego store here in Sweden, and they had their Lego Technic supercars in these amazing glass cabinets with lights on and stuff, and I imagine they're probably a few $100s each. And if you want to go uber high end, then that's the way. But ultimately, if you want to save your money to spend on Lego, because Lego's blooming expensive anyway, then go to IKEA. You can't go wrong. It looks great, it's clean, it's tidy. As long as you install it correctly and you build it correctly, I think Lego will endlessly look good on those shelving units. Okay, that's enough for me. If you enjoyed the video, please consider looking at some of the other videos, subscribing if you enjoy them, and hit a like button on this video. It really helps other people find this video. I keep saying video a lot, so I'm going to stop saying video. Have a wonderful day. Take care, everybody. Goodbye.